Hey everybody, welcome to the live broadcast from the train room. All right, the plan is to put the yard, build the yard, and right now I haven't started yet. Um, my plan is to come off this switch and go into the yard. I don't mind that switch. Um, how this yard is going to go is I'm going to try to put 3 lines in here. Uh, the first line will pretty much be um, the inbound, outbound set out, which is this line down here, right up this crossover switch. That is the inbound, outbound right here. So in other words, when the train comes in from the chemical plant, we drag up, line the switch, and we'll shove the train in here. Sort of like having my A yard, but it's all going to be in one big yard. So we're going to come in, set the cars here. We're going to try to put 14 cars on this track because that's how many cars is coming out of the chemical plant. And as you can see, I only got a few here right now. This is actually at 90% prototypical. 90% prototypical. I took some of the, I took 1 or 2 of them over here, but as of now, 5, 10, 13, there's 13 cars that's coming in and out. There's actually prototypical for 14 cars because 4 cars supposed to be down here. Well, we'll just add that. So that will be our 14th track car. There's 2 cars that's sitting up there right off the curb coming in. And then you have these 3, and then the 3 on the backside. And then there's 4, and then there's actually 1, but I put that second car over here to make it 14. So as of now, that's how that goes. Hey, Randy. Hey, Jackson, Jim, how you doing? So all right. The plan is to try to come up here, classify the cars in on 3 tracks. I'm going to try. The 3rd track will be the inbound, outbound set out. I'm kind of limited on space because of how wide I got this track here. I was trying to get it in, but I got a 24 radius pretty much everywhere on this layout. Okay, no problem. No problem, Randy. But I've already started somewhat. And I'm trying to get this just right. And it's going to be, I don't know. I think I can shorten that about right there. See, right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mock this up. I'm going to mock it up as much as possible before I even try to tie anything down. So And that's just space right here that I'm losing. I am losing a lot of space right here. Damn train. Sorry about that. Train hit the cord. Tank car hit the cord. Sorry about that, guys. By adding this radius, this high radius, it limits the amount of space. Well, it takes away all the space, so that's something I didn't want to happen. And the way I got this set up, there's one other solution I can do, and I don't want to do that because all I want on here is the gyro switches. Or I can put this track here, straighten it out, put this track here, and it'll limit pretty much all of that. I mean, I can't see what I'm talking about. Hold on. See, building a yard can be easy. Hey, Nora. Building a yard can be easy. But the number one thing I worry about when I build my yard is making sure I maintain the space between the tracks. And at the same time, have some type of amount of cars in the yard. And so I'm going to stop the train for a second. Okay. From the looks of this is going to be all right because I got it on the curved side. And this end will come out. So we're going to kill this section of the main to put the switch in here. All right. Now I'm going to add the switch in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I got this already powered up. So that's not the problem. Now, all right. Got that in. Hey, Golfer, how you doing? See, building a yard People are gonna tell you all kinds of stuff. Well, you're gonna do this and do this and do this and do that and do this and do that. It ain't that serious. It's all about how you lay the track. It can be new track, it can be old track, recycled track, which is what I'm using right now. But the number one thing you have to do is just make sure everything is connected real good. Make sure that you have a good connection. You can use the most raggediest track that you can find. But at the end of the day, it's all about how you lay it. Oh, here. Never mind. Okay. You will find that there are a lot of people on here. They want the track to be all nice and beautiful and neat. There's no such thing as a neat layout. Everybody gonna tell you they got all tricks and trades and ideas and all that stuff. Now, your roll switches. Now, I told y'all in an update. Hey, Rail, that's how you doing? Now, these switches are so good, I really don't have to do much. You just line them in and then wire them together as a piggyback. All these switches are on a piggyback system because one system carries the power to the other system, and that system carries it to the other system. And like I said, it eliminates all this wiring. And it's one thing I cannot stand to do is a lot of wiring. And it eliminates all the overloads as well. So I don't have overloads because of the fact the way how I got this wired. That's the reason why these fast track switches to me are by far the best. If you haven't invested into some fast track switches, I highly recommend you do. Are they delicate? Yes, they're very sensitive. That's the downside of them. It's because they're very delicate and you got to be very, very careful with them. Now, this is a small piece of flex track that I am curving a little bit to curve into this section of the track. So this was like a 24-inch radius that I'm trying to put back in. So that 24-inch radius, like an 18 or unlike an 18 or a 22, doesn't require me bending the track so much. Always remember, the larger the radius, the smoother the car will roll. The better your engines will roll. Everything roll when you put a large radius, especially when you're running 6-axle. Take the time, check everything. Make sure the connections are good. One thing I'm learning is to go back and check and recheck it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that engine around and let it check it. Check this. I got to put this glide throw in. I'll put it in a minute. Oh, we're doing fine. I'm doing fine. We're doing. As long as I just follow what they tell me to do. Go to work and come home. Go to work and come home. That is all I'm doing. Going to work and coming home. Now, what I'm doing is I'm checking to make sure there's a connection. And then when I get prepared, I'll drill a hole and put them under the table. But I don't do anything until I know that there is a connection. 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 We got a heartbeat. Good. And you're gonna hear a lot of people say, I don't think you should be reusing the same old track all the time. I'm gonna tell y'all something. It's not how the track look, it's how you make the track work for you. There's a lot of people on there saying, you need to buy a new track, you need to do this. No, I'm not gonna spend hundreds of dollars on track when I got hundreds of dollars of track that's still here that can be used. That is insane. That is crazy. Hey, Grandpa. People don't seem to realize this stuff is getting expensive by the year. And it goes up like 20 to 30 cents every year. And when you can find a bargain, you grab it as fast as possible because you will never get a bargain like that ever again. See how this little piece of flex track? Never, ever, ever, ever throw away your flex track. Never throw it away. So what I'm doing, in order for this to work right, I was gonna make them meet, but you never make them meet. You always want to make them. You always want to take it to the all the way around and not make them meet, because when you make them meet, it might do the house bulge, the steeple on a house. So wherever I start, I continue with it all the way around. That's the best way to do this. Continuing it all the way around. And when you're doing a curve, make sure that section of that curve is at the correct angle. But if you put one little corner, put a little corner on that section, that engine, that 6-axle, is gonna bulge up, and it's not gonna run over it. And then you're gonna have an issue, because then you gotta start all the way back over and fix it. So you have to take your time and work through it. Like that. Damn, you're smooth. Damn, you're smooth. See, every time I bend the track, that piece right there begin to flush into the other piece. So, see, right now, when it's straight, there's a gap, a huge gap. But as I turn it, it'll fall into place. So always remember, whenever you're going to do a curved section with flex track, I know everybody has their idea of how to do this, and that's fine. But what I do is I want this inside curve rail to flush in to this section. And when it flush in, there's going to be a good connection. And then when you make the turn, everything will work out perfect. Right now, I'm working with a 28 radius. This is my 24. And the further you go out, the radius goes up by 2. So if this is a 24, this is close to a 28, 29 radius. So the turn is going to be very smooth on the cars and the engine. This section right here for the wash rack, this section right here took me almost 20 minutes to do. Is because I was trying to make sure that sections were all flushed in on the curve. So when the car comes in like this, when the car comes in, there's not a lot of fighting on the curve. See how it rolls? And the best way to tell if your car is a roll and they're not stopping is to check your radius. If that car rolls freely, then you got a good radius. But if that car begins to stop or buckle, then you need to adjust your curve. Okay? That means the curve is bulging somewhere. You want that car to always roll as much as possible. Now, as you can see, here's a piece of flex track. It's jacked up, it's messed up. I used to use it for uncoupling. I put the magnet in here and cut it out and put the magnet in here. As you can see, it's all jacked up. This is how I'm going to use it. Doesn't care how the track look, as long as you have the ability to fix it and use it. See, it's going to get straight somewhere off in here, somewhat, and then I'm going to carry it all the way around to join it with the switch. And like I said, I will check this to make sure the curve is still smooth in a second. All right, let's put this on there. Let's check this curve. I'll let y'all see what I'm talking about. Whoops, almost failed. Damn it. And that's just by using small section of flex track. I'm sure everybody's saying, well, I'll use a big ass flex. That's fine. That's cool. But what I'm trying to do is use as much sections of flex track there is. So when I get to the yard, I'll have the large pieces for the yard. So there won't be a lot of fighting on the yard. Everybody understand what I'm doing? Make sense? All right, now I'm going to take this raggedy piece and tie it in right on top. You just snip a little at a time to get it where you want it. And that's that. Now, if you see a little bulge in this, it's because I got it real close and real tight to the other rail. So if it bulged, that's what I want it to do. I have a little bulge so when I nail it down, it's not so bad. So we're going to raise this nail up just enough to make the join. I'll take it out. And now, the curve is complete, and it looks good. It looks good. It's good. Good. I'm gonna have to see how that runs over the engine, see how the engine goes. Cause of the fact it has a little, real slight steeple going into the turn. Nothing major, but you know, you never know until you actually put an engine on a rail car on it. See, I stopped right there. That's not bad. Not bad. All right, the moment of truth. We're gonna get the engine. We're gonna let her come through here and see how it turned out. But first, I need to put the fly throw on here. Oh, where are all the fly throws? I need to put a fly throw on this switch up here. Now, I didn't want to do any switching right here off the main, just for the simple fact that, you know, I want to keep this main free. But apparently it's not going to work that way. And I was thinking about, and I wanted to put the outer main on here, but that also is going to, that's not going to work either. From the looks of everything, I don't think it's going to work. So what I'm planning on doing, I don't know, I'll figure it out. But as of right now, that inner main doesn't look real promising right now. It really don't look promising. I mean, the outer main don't look real promising. Sorry, guys. Hold on 1 second. Just trying to put this fly throw in. And it works. We got a heartbeat. Hey, you eat that food. All right, moment of truth. Let's put the end on here in the shove motion. We're always doing the chest. I always do my testing in the shove motion. Not in the drag, but in the shove. Let me put the camera so I can pretty much try to see everything that goes on. Hey Nancy, how you doing? And we'll put it in the drag motion and let it goes up. Let it go up. No, you will not touch my camera. All right, we got that done. Success, no issues whatsoever. Now, the number one thing I do, I'll do one track at a time. If I put a switch in, I'll do this rail and then I'll start on this rail. But I never try to do so many and then do all of them at the same time going down. I used to do that a lot and then I realized I was making a mistake. Because when you start doing this track, this track, and this track, and this track all the way down at the same time, you begin to have issues. So what I'm going to do, as always, I'm going to take one track at a time. And I'm going to keep the train running. So All right. Test it. You got a connection. You got a heartbeat. Good. Now, when you use them sections, take it first. Take it and straighten it out. Okay. We want to straighten this out where we have a gap. If there isn't a gap, then you have an issue because this is a curved section that I cut out. So what I'm going to do, I pull this back some. I pull this back so I can have a gap, okay? And all you do is just turn it until it flushes in. When it flush, that's it. You can't do it no more because if you do it, the other side is going to come out. So that's where your meat. And that's pretty much it. You see how it turns. All right. Oh, she know better. She know better. She know better. No, let the train one by. And then what I do, put one in here, not all the way, just barely. Turn it, and then where it flushes, that's it. That's as far I can go, because if I take it too much, that'll start bending out. So take it. This is yard track number 2. One is the that inbound, outbound set out track. This is the yard track. I'm going to cut this one just enough so when I make that turn, it'll flush in. Always remember, you want the track to flush in. So when it flush in, there's your curve. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Cut a section or pull it back so that it flush in. Y'all understand what I'm saying? And when it flush in, don't do it no more. That's as much as you can go. All right. All right. We got the gap. Now we're going to turn until it connects. As you can see, I'm slowly making the turn. Hey Dave, how you doing? David Dermott going to be end up seeing this video sooner or later. So to keep him from yelling at me, you slide my cross ties in. And then fill in the cross ties. That's something I've been trying to do and I haven't been doing it. Is when I get done with a section is to fill it in with the cross ties. I know everybody does the same thing. We forget to put the cross ties back in. Everybody that says they don't do that, say I. All right, we got one in. She never does. She never forgets. All right. Filled in the spots. Mr. Durbin will be so proud of me. Oh, you're not going to see no train crash, Dave. You can get that out of your head. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Okay. I'm sorry. If you want to put yourself in timeout, dear, by all means, put yourself in timeout, dear. All right. Yeah, that looks good. Now, what I'm going to do is test the track out with some switching. I'm going to do some switching. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to test to see how this curve works with the tank cars. So when you come back around, I'm going to do some switching in that section. So we're going to pull the camera back so I can see everything that goes on. And like I said, all I want to do is see how the cars work on the switch. Oh, she's been a brat now? Oh, no, not her. Not Nancy. All right. All right, let's see how this goes. No, I got a heel there. Like I said, all I want to do is check out the switch. I'm not too worried about the curve, but the curve looks good. All right, that works out good. The curve is perfect. Now let's take it around. once again, same scenario. See how much of a gap it is. See how much of a turn we need. So that's going to be a major turn a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snap a little bit. I'm going to snap a little bit. Bring it back down here so I can see everything. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to snap a little bit more than I normally do because of the turn into the straight. So I'm going to take that. You can see how it looks. And that's not bad. Just that little bit I did there. It's not bad at all. And I'm hoping this engine don't hit this camera when it comes around because I got the camera, the tripod right over the rail. Hey, Epic. Awesome, awesome Epic. How y'all doing? I haven't seen y'all in a minute. What y'all up to? Cleared it. I'm doing good. Just working on the layout, trying to get the snort in. So far, so far. That's all I can say. So far, so far. Now the straight section is going to be easy all the way down. It's always the curve that's going to be the issue. So the number one thing you want to do is work on get the curve just right. And then once you get the curve just right, everything else is a piece of cake. It has nothing to do with patience as much as just taking your time, you know? If you take your time, patience will build. You will build patience doing this. It's all about just taking your time. Sonny, do you have a layout already? Or you don't have a layout? No, you don't have a layout. Or are you planning on building a layout? all still in chat? It seems like everybody disappeared all of a sudden. Anybody still here? Or did everybody fall asleep or just left? Who all still here in chat? Oh, okay. I thought you had to leave. I thought you had left since you said you had to leave, Randy. Oh, okay. You got a job to do? Oh, okay. Go get that cat. Go get that bag. Start drinking. I can't. I want to. You call her an idiot, jackass. Why they got you sitting there? Where are you at right now? I get home? How long are you gonna be home for? Oh, that's right, surgery. Surgery. Well, you need to be home or in a hotel then. Get to work. Start turning them up. Turn them up. Turn them up. Oh, okay. Now this is the set out, in and out, bound set out track that I need to go ahead and finish up too, since I already got it in. But like I said, you do one track at a time. You never try to do so many and do them all evenly down. You'll mess up. So like I said, I'm doing one track at a time. Look, this, do you know how much I paid for this? This only like 20 some dollars. You can get them at Walmart. to stop on this track and then finish up this track. The reason why it's already set, so all I gotta do is set the Dremel to it, put the Dremel to it. Oh, okay. Oh, you going to bed early? Something I need to do? Go to bed early? Now, what I could do, and I just thought about this, is eliminate the curve switch and come up with a switch right here. Thinking about how to do that. Hold on, let's think. Let's think. Let's just switch. No, I'm not gonna do that. Damn that. Uh-uh. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Ooh. And always remember, the best way to test your track is put it in the shove motion. Because the shove motion is going to tell you where your bad spots are rather than the drag motion. So you always put it in the shove. so much for that idea. right, Attorney Man, thank you for the comments. Sorry about that. I didn't have a phone close to me. Take care. Be safe. Oh, that's not bad to put that many rail cars in there. Let's do it. All right, I'm going to take a break because this Dremel is about to go dead. So I'm going to let that charge, and when it gets done charging, I'll be back in here to finish up on the second track. So until then, thank y'all for coming. I hope y'all learned something. Until then, y'all take care. Bye.